So now we want to talk about merchandise in particular. Merchandise must be pure, means not najas. So you can't sell a dog or wine. And you can't sell your blood to the Red Cross or any other organization. Or feces or urine, you can't sell that. Or haram meat because it's najas. But the Hanafis, they said you can deal with the kafir in the kafir land as he deals if you get the profit. And they said you can take the kafir's money with his acceptance. That's an important case there. You can take the kafir's money with his acceptance. So these two rules that I just gave you, these two Hanafi rules I gave you, that work in a non-Muslim country when dealing with a non-Muslim, this opens wide doors for you. So according to this, the Hanafi said, this is their own example. According to this, then you could sell haram meat to a kafir, not for him to eat it though, rather to feed it to his animals, because it's not haram to give haram meat to an animal. So that's not just that haram meat, you can't sell it. But the Hanafis, because of what they have when it comes to dealing with kafir, there is some way you could possibly sell some haram meat. I'm not telling you that so that you go sell haram meat, but I'm telling you that so that you can maneuver.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I have a question.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Is it haram to sell haram meat to the kuffar?
According to the Hanafis, who said, when you're in a kafir country, dealing with a kafir, they said a statement, which is, you can deal with them the way they deal. And they said another statement too, which is, you can take his money with his acceptance. According to this, then you could sell the haram meat to the kafir, not so he can eat it though, because that's haram. You can't help him do haram. But you can sell it to him so that he can feed it to his animals, because it's not haram for an animal to eat haram meat. It's not haram to give najas to the animal to eat it. Like sometimes, maybe some people have a cat. And can they give the cat food that has chicken in there or something? It's not haram. You just can't buy it though because it's najas. But according to the Hanafis, you could sell that kafir some haram meat to feed to his animals, not to eat it himself. And you could take his money with his acceptance, because he accepts to pay it to you and give it, to pay you and take it from you. So that's my answer for your question.
You said that you could sell it to them. Can you buy it from them?
I don't know that you can buy it from them. I never heard about that. You can buy that from them. What's the Muslim going to do with that?
What, the haram meat?
Yeah.
Yeah, give it to the animal. Or gas, for example, that has alcohol in it. If it really, ethanol really does that, it is alcohol.
I don't know. Good question. That question needs to be answered. That's to make it much easier. The issue of the gas, because they accept to give it to you. They accept, and that's the way they deal. MashaAllah. Yeah, because I'll mention here, this might be rough for some people, but just so you know, at least you will have knowledge, which is that they put the ethanol in the gasoline. I don't know, when did they start doing that? In the 90s or what? They put the ethanol in the gasoline. The ethanol is najasa. So then you can't buy that. And then they put the sticker right there on the machine and tell you, we got ethanol in here. So you know the najasa, they're telling you, we got najasa in here. So what you're going to do? Well, one might just not look at those machines so that his eye doesn't fall on that sign there. He looks, just keep his eyes down so hard. Just go pay. Don't look. Don't look. Grab the thing. Put it in the car. Pump the gas. Don't look. Because it's going to ruin your day. And then successfully pump his gas without knowing that he purchased najasa. It's not obligated to search it. Or he might do other things. Once you see, though, at one spot, then you can't go there anymore. Huh? Yes, question. If you want to keep doing it the same way, that is.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Some of these signs, it says it may contain ethanol. Can we go by that it may not contain ethanol?
Yes, because now there's a doubt. And you don't have to search.
Barakallahu fik.
Ameen wa fiq. Wa alaikum assalam.
So, I was wanting to know, as far as the haram meat, is it a condition that they specify what they're purchasing it for, or you can just sell to them?
I don't know.
Like if they, okay.
I don't know. But if we want to give a scenario that is clearly halal according to the Hanafis, you're going to know you're not helping him sin. And I don't know what they say about not knowing. And I don't know what they say about knowing too. Like, are they saying you can still, you can't sell it to him if you know he's going to sin with it, but the money's still halal because he accepted to give it to you. So I don't know their details there. You have follow-up?
Yes. As far as for Muslims trying to feed their animals, they can do a donation in this case, as opposed to buying it.
Yeah, let's say it this way.
Get pet food.
Let's say it this way. You can acquire it. The Muslim can acquire it without a sale. So, like the person, he says to the person, just give it to me. Or he says, sell me the crate and put the stuff in there for free. Yani, how much you want? He says, I want $20 a pound. Tell him, okay, what do you package it in? He says, I package it in these bags here. Tell him, fill those bags up and just charge me for the bags and give me the stuff inside for free. How much? I'll buy the bags for the price you want, and just give me the stuff inside for free. For example. Yani, the meaning of my answer to you is, when the person learns all these deals, then that's when he's going to be able to, like, maneuver. I don't have one answer for you only. Yeah, donation. Rather, for me, a better answer to you from me, I see, is for me to tell you, acquire it by other than a sale. So that means some way. So the more you learn, then the more options you have. That's true when it comes to dealings, and that's true in general. You learn 2 madhabs. If you have the knowledge of 2 madhabs, that give you so many options. Like Ibn Daqiq al-Eid. He's a big scholar. It was said he's mujtahid in Maliki school. Or he's a mujtahid altogether. And that he's a master of Shafi'i school and Maliki school. He has so many options because he has a lot of knowledge. Knows what he can do and what he doesn't have to do, according to this way or that way.
Okay, so with this way of acquiring, like the way now they have us pay for the bags, so you would suggest maybe putting the pet food inside of the bag and say how much do you charge for this bag?
As long as there's no cheating here, as long as there's no deception here, like you can just say to him, be clear for him, if Yani, say, I want all this stuff here, How much? How much you want for the bags? How much you want for all this? So he says $30. Say, okay, this $30, I'll pay you $30 but I want to buy the bag and all the stuff in the bag, give it to me for free. And I'll give you the $30 you're looking for. So then he should accept, even if he looks funny at you. But he doesn't have fiqh. So since you have fiqh, then that's why you're making details and making distinction. For him, all of it's the same thing. So the merchandise has to be pure, not najas, and have a lawful, religiously recognized, normally sought benefit. That part's important too. This part here is going to make you think twice about the actual thing you want to spend your money on. Has to have a lawful, religiously recognized, normally sought benefit. So it goes back to the word benefit. A benefit that has qualities. A benefit that has certain qualities. Benefit means usefulness. Usefulness includes being halal or haram. Useful means gets you some goal you're looking for. Like if your goal is to be high, then drugs are useful. And the haram instruments, guitars and pianos, they are useful for whatever it is you want to use them for. So the thing you're buying has to have a benefit, has to be useful, but this usefulness has qualities itself. Knowing the qualities of that usefulness helps you to think twice about what you're spending your money on or doing your contract on, to make sure that it's legal religiously. So the benefit has to be a lawful benefit. So that excludes then the benefit of getting high. So the word benefit, I'm using the word benefit here, doesn't mean good. The word benefit here is not a synonym for good. Or the benefit of enjoying music. That's excluded because this is not lawful. We're talking about haram music, of course. Wind instruments and string instruments that are enchanting by themselves. So the benefit has to be a halal benefit in the first place. So if it's whatever is the use of this thing, whatever makes it useful to the people who like to use it, if that's haram itself, then you can't buy this thing. Even if you could use it in another way, though. But that other way is not really the way for this thing to be used. Like what? Like buying a guitar for firewood. You cannot buy a guitar for firewood, although it's permissible to buy firewood. Because the guitar is useful for, its normal original use is something else. So you can't buy it like that. But if it gets smashed into pieces and now it's good for firewood, still good for firewood, just smashed into pieces, now you can buy those pieces. So the benefit has to be lawful. It has to be religiously recognized. Benefit also. Religiously recognized. So what's not religiously recognized benefit? Like renting an apple to sniff it. Renting? Thought we were talking about selling. We're talking about money. Renting an apple to sniff it. So this is a good example for you because even though there's going to be a lot of weird things like that maybe you didn't hear about it, but at least maybe might be that you find yourself in a situation where this is the deal and you say this is that's not religiously recognized benefit. Means it's like you're saying, that's like sniffing an apple. I'm not going to pay my money for that. Or you might not know if it's like sniffing an apple. Could be a case that you recognize that it is like sniffing an apple. Or you're not sure if it's like sniffing an apple or not. So it needs to be religiously recognized. And the religiously recognized usefulnesses, we're going to mention them inshallah. And normally sought also, that's also like sniffing the apple, because you don't seek the apple normally to sniff it. So you don't seek the guitar normally to use it for firewood. Like what? Like being useful for hunting. So that right there, that's going to cover many things, different things. Or eating, or fighting, or load bearing. So we say load bearing, like what? Like a pickup truck. Like a donkey. Like a wagon. A red wagon with the handle on it. Has religiously recognized benefit. Fighting, so what? Like armor, like a weapon, like an elephant. Eating, like a fish, or like a chocolate bar. Someone might say, chocolate bar has no benefit. Nah, this one doesn't understand a lot. This one doesn't understand. It has small fahm here. If we were to say chocolate bar, that doesn't have a benefit, does have a benefit, just eating it. So his mind is saying, yeah, but it doesn't have protein and vitamins. And it doesn't have to have protein and vitamins. It's edible, it's food. So that's benefit. Hunting, like what? Like a crossbow. Like a cheetah. Or like something else. Maybe some sort of a trap to catch the animal in a snare. So those are abstract things. And then you're going to apply them to whatever it is you're interested in buying. Even if obtaining it were effortless. Yani, you can buy it even if you could get it without effort. Like, what's something you could get without effort? Let's say a stick. You just maybe could step out to your house and break a stick off of, or pick a stick up off the ground. Can you buy a stick though? Yes, you can. Or anything like that. And it can be an investment. Investment here means it's not useful yet. Will become useful in the future. And it can be purchased without wanting it for what it's good for. Like a cat. Because useful for catching mice doesn't mean you have mice though. The fish is useful to eating, doesn't mean you want to eat that fish though. What we have here is like a young donkey that cannot be ridden or loaded. Why it's not useful? Because you can't eat it either. You can't ride it. You can't load it. You can't eat it. This is what you're going to do with it. You're going to feed it and clean up after it and house it and spend your money on it. So why have it then? Why buy it? Because you want the investment, which is to use it later. Or a cat, that though one does not have mice, or hyenas for eating. You can buy a hyena because you can eat it. Also the fox, according to Ash-Shafi'i, you can eat it. And leopards and falcons for hunting, and apes for guarding. Be careful with those though if you want to buy an ape. It might harm you. It is said that if the ape is alone with a man, he will kill him. If he's alone with a woman, he will rape her. Elephants for working, and for riding, and for fighting, and bees for honey. Although bee is vermin. Bee is a type of vermin, but this one is useful. So you can buy the whole beehive with the queen in there. Because then it's going to make honey. Then the hive is going to produce honey. And peacocks for their aesthetics. Yani, just because they're nice to look at. So you can buy one just for that. So then, this makes me want to ask just to be sure. So then we can buy the vase or something just to put on the windowsill because you like how it looks. Just only that's why. It's nice to look at. That's why you want to buy it. It doesn't even do anything. All you're going to do is put it right there on your windowsill. And that's nothing more. We'll double check there if that's like buying a peacock. But not pictures, though, of photographs and figures of things that can live. You can't buy that. Pictures and figures of things that can live. That's what we're talking about that you can't buy. Yani, so like, we're talking about baseball cards, Pokemon cards, Garbage Pail Kid cards, and the likes of those things. And figures, and means dolls, G.I. Joe dolls, and other things, statues, gnomes, garden gnomes. Yes.
Again, when you're saying pictures, you're saying what depicting something of what could live.
Yes.
So, what about things that cannot live? Picture of a flower.
So, yani, then means either our rule is incomplete or those are not counted. So, I don't remember.
I'm sorry, Chef.
I said either it means our rule is incomplete because those are still included if that's included, or it means that you can buy those. But we can ask inshallah ta'ala. What you're doing is you're asking me to be explicit about something that's implied. We'll ask inshallah.
Acoustics are bad like that. So you got my question. It's because I have pictures that are not depicted to be fulfilled.
Yeah, I understand the question.
Yeah. Now I just can't. I'm in my prep.
Yes, understood the question. Ameen Wafiq. Nah. So elephants for working and riding and fighting, and bees for honey, and peacocks for their aesthetics, but not the pictures and figures of things that can live. But for sure, what you could buy is like a model house, so, or like plastic plants. And that's general too, because you can buy food that's in the form of something that can be alive. Someone molded a figure that depicts something living out of food. You can buy that and eat it. So we're talking there about like those little red gummy fish or gummy bears or anything like that. Or Teddy Grahams, those like cookies that are shaped like bears and the likes, animal crackers. You can buy those and eat those. Even if the amount of what is depicted cannot sustain life, then such an image is still haram to buy it. Invalid, that is. Except a little girl's dolly of a little girl. Except a little girl's dolly of a little girl. That's an image that you can buy. It's valid sale. A little girl's dolly of a little girl. And pesticide is legal. You can buy pesticide. Wallahu a'lam. We'll stop there. Any question?
I just want to specify. You said you can buy. It's not just that you can acquire the doll, but you can actually buy it.
Yeah, you can buy it. Yeah, that's lawful. That's an exception. Ameen wa fikum. Subhanallah. when it comes to the Transformers, don't buy them if they're in robot form. Because robot form is the shape of something that can be alive. Robot is basically the shape of a man. The robot is representation of man. So it has head and torso and arms and legs. That's a man. And also sometimes the robot, we talk about toys here, not a real robot. What's supposed to be a robot, a toy of a robot, sometimes they make it like animal too. So they have like supposedly robots, leopard, robot, birds, that's Laserbeak, robot, yani scorpion. So then when it looks like a man, that's a man. So don't buy it when it's in the form of a man. But if it's in the form of a car, then you can buy the model of the car model.
So, Chef, that means that we can't buy Ninja Turtles for like our younger brothers?
No, I can't buy those things. Not valid. No Ninja Turtles, no G.I. Joes, none of those. And no teddy bears, no stuffed animals. Heck of that. Not SpongeBob SquarePants and like this or Finding Nemo. Nothing. None of those. Yes, question?
Yes. So the doll that's in the shape of a little girl, that's fine. But what if it's a boy doll?
La.
So only the girl.
Yeah, that's why we said it so specifically. And it's useful for her because she will pretend to be mommy.
Sheikh, after we finish reviewing this book, will we go over it again?
I don't know. Now I am going over it again. This is another time, so I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. So the videos are on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very
Most
much.
of them. Not every single time I read this book I put the video up, but I think most of the time. Maybe it's mostly covered in here. And also there's older versions too. The book's been updated since some of those videos.
Jazakallah khair.
آمين وإياكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت. Yes.
Yeah, I never heard this expression before, dolly. I just heard of a dog.
Yeah.
But the question is, you reminded me about something that I had in my mind referring to haram instruments, i.e. guitar. If you had a string, if there's a string that exists that is tight to one area to another area, and you touch it and it vibrates, and you start plucking it and plucking it, is that what's the judgment on that?
I haven't heard.
Okay, it just reminded me because of rubber bands.
Yeah.
And rubber bands are not strings, but it just reminded me about the vibrations of something that is anything that is tight and thin and light.
Yeah, someone sent me a video of a guy who was making beats. He used rubber bands. And he was plucking the rubber bands, recording the vibration, and then modifying it from there. And I told him, be careful here. Maybe that one is not permissible. I don't know though. I haven't heard.
Okay. Allah, you better.
Ameen Wafiq.